Hello, sports fan, and welcome to the Packs for Breakfast All-Star Battery, the greatest battery of all time, and I am going to argue it. Now, Ivan Rodriguez, it won't take much to argue that he is the greatest catcher of all time. Ivan Rodriguez batted .296, 311 home runs, 1,332 RBIs, 2,844 hits, a 68.7 WAR. He played 21 seasons and threw out 45% of his runners. Now, I've established that probably average is 30 to 33%. He threw out almost 50% of his runners. 14-time All-Star with 13 Gold Gloves. I just don't think you can argue that there is a better catcher than Ivan Rodriguez. Maybe defensively you can go back in time and find some better catchers, but to put the numbers that he had on offense with the numbers that he put up on defense, his longevity, his accolades, everything else, Ivan Rodriguez, I'm going to call it. At the catcher position, he's the GOAT. If you know of somebody better, put his numbers down in the comments, name him. But I don't think you can find a guy that I would not take any catcher over Ivan Rodriguez. So to me, just a phenomenal career, phenomenal hitter, phenomenal on the defensive side of it. Maybe there are some catchers that could, maybe call a better game for their pitchers, but not by much. Then you got the guy in the middle, Mariano Rivera. Now, Mariano Rivera, I don't think needs any, explanation. He has the most saves in history, a 2.21 career ERA, 5-time World Series champion. And this is the closer who was the World Series MVP in 1999. Also had 1,173 strikeouts. And I think he's the only guy to ever get 100% of the vote. Well-deserved. I've never been a Yankee fan, but I have nothing but the utmost respect for Mariano Rivera and what he did in his career. He did it for so long, for so well, better than anybody else. And there's just not anybody that's in the pipeline right now. Maybe Class A, but he's not going to come close to Rivera. Right now, he's just maybe the best right now. There might be a couple other guys, but Rivera is in a class by himself. I mean, for those championship teams, they knew that if they could get to the ninth with a lead, you were very rarely going to lose that game. It was very rare to get to Rivera. I think did he throw a screwball or did he or was it his slider that was just insanely sick? But yeah, a ton of respect for him. Now, the guy that's probably going to get the bulk of this video is going to be the guy named Roger Clemens. Now, Roger Clemens is not in the Hall of Fame, and he should be in the Hall of Fame. Roger Clemens, on the all-time wins list, is ninth with 354. Now, the only guys that are in front of him are all old-timers. I mean, old-timers. You're talking Cy Young, Warren Spahn, guys like that, guys from just, some of them from over 100 years ago. The only guy that's in front of him that's a modern pitcher, Greg Maddux, 355. But Roger Clemens had a 3.12 ERA, 354 career wins. On the strikeouts list, he is number 3 with 4,672. The only two in front of him, Randy Johnson at 4,875 and the great Nolan Ryan at 5,714. Roger Clemens, he was an 11-time All-Star, 139 career WAR, played 24 seasons. He won the MVP as a pitcher, and he had 7 Cy Young awards. Nobody has had more Cy Youngs than Roger Clemens. Now, they started the award in 1956. But Roger Clemens won 7 of them. Next best, Randy Johnson. Randy Johnson won 5. Won 4 in a row at one point. But to me, Roger Clemens does not get the Hall of Fame vote for the dumbest reasons. The dumbest reasons, first, the dumb reason is he is not likable. He says very controversial things. He's done some controversial things. He was called a headhunter. He threw very close and inside on a lot of hitters. I think there was the one time he took a broken bat or something and threw it at Piazza. But come on, how many times does a broken bat come out to a pitcher and he just kind of would like to throw it right back at the batter, even though it's not the batter's fault. The bat broke. So, but Clemens is not warm and cuddly. He is, but nowhere in the baseball rules does it say you have to be a nice guy to play in the MLB. He had his dust-ups with managers and other players and, like I said tons of controversial things. Then he was brought up by McNamee or whatever it was. McNamee, I think, was his name. And he was I think the trainer for the Yankees, and he was indicted on some counts of giving PEDs to players, and he would not name at the time Clemens or Pettit in his things. And then it came out later that to kind of save his skin with the feds, he did kind of name Clemens and Pettit. So the whole argument really became, and I'm simplifying a lot of this, there is so much information out there, and I don't like to usually point out the negative stuff, but it's worth noting that he was put in front of Congress. He was, found to have not, he wasn't found to have done anything, but they thought maybe he lied. So then they tried to get him on perjury. I can't remember what the term is called, but for lying to the courts, basically, for lying under oath. So they tried to get him for that because they said he lied under oath while, about taking steroids or taking performance-enhancing drugs. So they tried him. The federal government tried him. They had to have a mistrial. So the judge threw it out as a mistrial because the prosecution gave the jury access to information that had not been approved by the judge. So they had to throw it out. So then Roger Clemens got tried again. When he got tried again, he was found innocent or not guilty on all 6 charges that he was accused of. He was never popped for steroids. He never failed a test. He passed, he won his trials. He's done everything that I think that you should have had to do. He's just not a nice guy. He's not, he's not Big Papi. And that brings me to another point of contention. Big Papi did get popped for PEDs and I think served a 50-game suspension for it, for HGH or whatever it was at the time. And he got voted into the Hall of Fame. Why? Well, because he's likable. But he still got put in the Hall of Fame even after testing positive for some kind of a performance-enhancing drug. To me, Hall of Fame voters should just be ashamed of themselves that they've kind of made this somewhat of a popularity contest. Roger Clemens, there is no proof that he did any of the things that are keeping him out of the Hall except for his bad personality. That is the only thing that is keeping him out of the Hall of Fame, that and the accusations of PEDs. And that to me is an incredible injustice to one of the all-time greatest pitchers to ever pitch in the modern era of baseball, if not the greatest pitcher to pitch in the modern era. And that's All-Star for now.